Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to Popternative. This is the podcast and talk show where we have digital discussions, the worlds of TV, film, news, music, lifestyle, sports, everything related, betting on a guest. Talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, you know me as Peter Beats. I guess as a musician, just dropped a fresh new single that we're going to talk about. We're with an artist known as 7evin7ins. Sir, welcome to Popternative.
What's going on? Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to chat with you, man, and it's exciting times. You just put out that new single. What's the reception been like so far?
It's been amazing. The feedback I've gotten on this one is definitely way more significant than previous releases. I'm really excited about it. It's been going really, really well.
It's very interesting. We talked about before we started. I mean, you are doing something with your music that is a big trend that I think is very important right now, man, where you are throwing the genre out the window. You don't care about limiting yourself. You don't care about being in one box. You were doing a lot of music that has crossovers with rap and hip hop, with punk and rock and a little bit of metal. You're kind of throwing it all in there. How important is it to be a genre bending artist these days?
Yeah, absolutely. When people ask me, like what genre of music do you do? I don't know what to tell them. I grew up from artists like Eminem to Paramore. So like, I'm kind of all over the place, so you definitely can see the influence in my music. I kind of just do whatever, but it's dope. I really like it.
Yeah.
It kind of gives me like creative freedom to just, be me.
Absolutely. But it's one of those things too, where people that like follow 7evin7ins on Spotify, follow you on Instagram and everything. I think that's what people are realizing about your music, that you are not limiting yourself and you're kind of making a unique sound basically, with pop punk a little bit in there. There's some punk in there, there's some hip hop in there. You mentioned you grew up on Eminem and stuff. Talk a little bit about that punk aspect of things as well, because it's in there too, man.
Yeah. It's crazy because like when I started making music, this was not the direction that I envisioned at first, but it definitely feels more honest, like this is definitely genuinely me as an artist. When, like I said, when I grew up, like it was anything from Eminem to Paramore, so like I always wanted to go the rap route with it, but I really started to understand the genre of rock as I started making music, and it ultimately ended up getting me here, and I love it. I take influence from, a lot of different pop punk bands, and it's dope. It's just such a cool genre. I love it.
And I recently asked a friend of mine, Elijah, who's known as American Teef, who is an artist that's kind of doing the similar sound as you, where he's kind of throwing in a lot of different genres in there, and those are the artists kind of taking over the world right now. And I'm just curious because online, there are some people that listen to your music and that do kind of associate or say that your song and what you're doing is similar to artists like MGK and Mod Son and Youngblood, right? And those are some guys that are kind of pushing the envelope, kind of adding the rock aspect of it. They previously did hip hop and everything. When you hear those comparisons, I mean, it's flattering and everything. Obviously, you want to be your own artist, but like, it's pretty cool to be coupled. Like, those guys are doing something right? So to be kind of coupled with that, it's a cool thing too, right, 7evin7ins?
Yeah, no, it's definitely dope, because those are artists who are, making music now that I definitely look up to and take inspiration from. It's dope. I feel like, artists like me and artists like them, are ultimately really bringing back like pop punk and kind of incorporating it into this whole hip hop realm. So, I respect them, and being compared to them is it's dope. It's a great feeling.
Spotify's big for 7evin7ins. Over 75,000 monthly listeners right now on Spotify, and it keeps going up and up and up. It's just insane to see how good like hip hop and punk rock, I find stream really well on Spotify. But like
Yeah.
you do kind of both of it, so I feel like you kind of found the best of both worlds. Isn't it crazy to think that there's over 75,000 people on a monthly basis currently listening to Seven Sins? That's nuts.
Yeah. I mean, it's unreal. You know, I never envisioned that it would get this far, but you know, we're not even close to the end. So it's great to see the growth, and I'm excited for what's to come.
When you guys are writing a song, you're in the studio and you're putting something together, when do you know you have something special? Because the reason I ask this question, man, is because I get a different artists have different answers to this, and this excites me, right? Is
Yeah.
it for you like when you're writing it? Is it when you play back? Is it when you hear it live for the first time? When do you know you have a good track?
So like I record myself when I'm in the studio. I'll bring the mic out. And so I'm kind of just in there on my own, just creating, and my process is a bit different than others. I like to just kind of go as trying to think the best way to say it, but like I don't really freestyle it, but like I kind of just come up with everything on spot.
For
So
sure.
until like the day after, when I like sleep on it and then play it back in my car, that's when I'm like, okay, this is it. Because I used to go through like that whole creative block where like, you know, if I wasn't sure about something, then I wouldn't finish it. But now what I've started to do is really like just finish everything I do, and then I listen back the next day. But you know, like when I know it's the one, like I'll listen to that the next day in my car, and I'll be like, wow, yeah, like I did that. That was dope.
Absolutely. That's good. No, because it's different, but you understand why like different artists have different ways, right? Like someone could have a completely different answer to you about how they make their
Exactly.
songs.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's definitely um a more personal way of, you know, making music, because like I know that some other artists, like they like to have all their friends with them in the studio, and some people like need an engineer, but I love just working on my own and isolating myself. I feel like that's the best way for me to kind of do everything.
Absolutely. Collabs and features are huge. They're never going away. They're amazing. This new single is a collab. Talk a little bit about this collab and talk about how important is it to do features with artists with Seven Sins.
Yeah, so going into this year, I kind of set myself like a goal. I said I want to really branch out, work with other artists, because I never really did that prior to 2021. And so I started reaching out to artists on Instagram, just, you know, seeing who else is out there that I could work with. And I found this one artist, 916frosty, and I actually knew of him before I started talking to him, but immediately, like right after I messaged him, he responded and we started talking, and he's a really dope dude. So I sent him that song and I was like, look, like I think you kill this, and he was like, I'm so down. So I sent it to him and we just did it. And
It's easy. It's just the collabs are a lot easier than people think. I feel
yeah,
like.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Like, and there's so many dope artists out there. Like, I wish I could work with everybody.
It's a crazy time for music right now. There's some good stuff out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially like artists who are like around my size, like, you know, starting to come up. Like, there's so much upcoming talent. It's amazing to see. I feel like music over the next few years is gonna be, you know, something special.
Have you ever thought about kind of the middleman situation that you're in a little bit? Because you said you're kind of an up and coming artist. You haven't been doing this for that long, but you're getting all this traction and everything. You look up to a lot of artists, but at the same time, people kind of spin your tracks on Spotify and listen to you and follow you on Instagram. There's some artists that are younger than you, maybe that like look up to you as well. So you're kind of that middleman person. Have you ever
Yeah,
thought about that? That's an interesting
yeah,
concept as well.
yeah. No, definitely. I mean, I'm in like a interesting position, but it's dope because like, you know, I've also been that artist who's just starting off. Like, you know, we all have started from somewhere. So it's like it's dope to see the growth, and, you know, like to see other people even taking inspiration from me. Like, that's really cool to me.
Absolutely. We're going to do a segment with 7sins right now called Name 3. This is a segment I do in my show with musicians where I don't just interview musicians, but when I interview musicians, I do this segment because I want people to kind of get to know your music and check you out. So basically, I'm going to have you name 3 songs for me, 3 7sin songs, but I need 3 specific songs. So I need a upbeat 7sin songs. Then I need a song that is very heartfelt, important to you. And then I need kind of a newer, trendier song. So maybe it could be the new one you dropped or something coming out or something. So I need upbeat, heartfelt, and trendy. This is Name 3 with 7sins. Go for it.
Okay, cool. So upbeat, definitely my song Break Me. More heartfelt, Through to You. And new would have to be Let Go.
Absolutely. You know what's funny with that question? Because I interview a lot of artists about this, and basically no one has a hard time answering that question. Because I put you all on the spot, but right away. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
Like, not one person has had to think hard about it. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, no, I thought about it for a sec, but it's pretty easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
My catalog also isn't too deep. I think.
Yeah, but it could also. I forgot to tell you, it could be unreleased as well, right? Because you have so many that. Is that a misconception? Do you think in music too, where people don't realize how many songs they just see the songs that are out, but there's a lot of songs you've written.
Especially with my fans, it's kind of funny to see because people will be like, you just went to the studio. Does that mean you're making a new song? When are you gonna go make a new song? Man, if only you knew how many I'm sitting on. I think I have 8 to 10 songs that are actually out, but I have over 200 unreleased songs that are just sitting.
A lot of artists, you're not able to kind of tour or play shows right now during the pandemic. When you're kind of finally able to do that, is the goal to kind of show that what they kind of see is the real deal type thing, because people basically see you on Spotify and everything, right? And they a lot of people haven't had a chance to see people live. They don't know what to expect with the show. When you're able to finally tour, what are you hoping to kind of give to the fans when you're able to tour?
Man, I'm super excited for that. It comes back soon, but yeah, I mean, I feel like in 2020 it's really just been performing in front of a camera. I don't know if you've seen some of the videos, but they're just me with mic in front of the camera, but hopefully just able to give that same energy to my fans, and I really just can't wait to travel and perform for all these people that have been asking me to. I just hope it's soon, man.
Absolutely. 7sins, thank you so much for coming on Popternative. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Can you plug away? Where can people follow you on social media? The new single's out right now. They can listen to it wherever they listen to music. Plug away, man.
Yeah, so any platform at 7evin7ins, and the 7sins.
Amazing. And the new track's amazing, man. We can't wait for new songs. Isn't it funny too how the song comes out, we listen to it, and we're just we want more right away. It's the turnover is very quick.
I know, man. I know. There's so much to come, though.
Because it's almost like binging a show on Netflix, right? People watch the whole show and they're okay, I want more. Right? It's the same thing with your song. You listen to the song, it's okay, this is great. What's the rest of the EP or what's the rest of the record gonna? Is there a record coming out? Or is it just kind of singles and EPs?
For now, it's just singles. Hopefully I could get some type of tape out. I'd really like to.
Oh, absolutely. Well, seriously, man, all the best, and thank you so much for the interview. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you. I really appreciate this. It's been dope.
Absolutely. Well, this has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is 7sins and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.